Hey traders, welcome back. Today I want to talk about two main tickers, IINN and VERU, one of which I'm up on the most and the other one I'm down on the most. So there's quite a big spread there. I want to talk about why I wasn't really able to get in the flow, kind of on both tickers actually, and what I see going forward for these individual tickers. So let's go ahead, switch over to the trading screen and you'll see what I am up on today. And this is actually not the main trading screen. Let me go ahead and switch that. I don't even know why it was on my secondary screen. I got four monitors in front of me, and sometimes I just got back from a trip, and sometimes when I unplug everything and replug it, it just goes a little crazy. Another one of the many reasons traveling spikes my heart rate. So let's dive into it. Here you see I'm up 255 today. Kind of a scratch day. I could feel like I could have been red 255 today. It just really feels like an overall scratch day. Yes, I'm ending green, but I wasn't really able to gain momentum. I don't know if it was just me, if it was the tickers today, or it was the fact that the mailman literally rang the door at 9:30 and I was gone for like 3 minutes and I missed the opening action. I don't know. Maybe it's a combo of all those things. So let's dive into it. Let's actually start with VERU. This is the one I'm up on the least, or down on the most, I should say. And then we'll work our way up, or maybe we'll just go to IINN right away. But let's see here. So VERU, and whoa, what was that big green candle just now? VERU is kind of an interesting ticker. This is a ticker, let's start on the daily, that we've been seeing just a ton. Ever since the COVID pandemic, we've been seeing this ticker because it is a personal products company that focuses on medicine. We'll talk about that in a second here. But we've been seeing this ticker a lot, had this huge exponential rise from like tiny amounts, like 250 all the way up to 240. So it was like a 10x move. Then it came all the way back down, consolidated, found a bottom, and then just ripped again 300% here in this area. So in this area, we actually had, let me pop it up right here. We had, this was like April 13th or a little bit earlier, April 11th, 180% move. You can see here VERU stock nearly triples after oral COVID-19 treatment leads to statistically meaningful reduction in deaths. This was really big news. Even before at the time, like when we go way back, but they just kept on refining. And they kept on coming out with the new drugs and improving them. So that was exactly in this area that pumped the stock. And now we're seeing a very similar catalyst again. This treatment significantly reduces deaths in high-rate hospitalization COVID-19 patients. Phase 3 clinical study met primary and key secondary endpoints. I really do like phase 3 studies, any sort of FDA approval or something like that. But phase 3 studies that meet endpoints is usually a really good catalyst. Now, there is something that kind of has me worried here a little bit. First of all, we've been kind of stuck in this range a lot. Between $14 and $15 seems to be a bit of a top. Seems to be probably the point where a lot of backholders are just selling, or anyone that's trading this range just start selling. And right here on this good news day, we just have a very small amount of volume. So that was really tough. And when I was trading VER today, you could just really feel the sellers. Not as much as IINN. There was a lot of sellers on that as well. But this one was just stuck with sellers too. So let's see, personal products company, 80 million shares outstanding and a $1 billion market cap. That's a pretty large market cap, and you can really feel that when we were trading this ticker. So let's dive into the 5-minute and see how we actually ended up trading this one a little bit more. Pre-market was a little all over the place. This was when some of the news came out. People were really excited. Then we had a huge panic, and then consolidated. And then we were like, wait a second, this is actually good news. So I mean, wow, this is all over the place. Anyway. Big quick move here to like 20%, and then it consolidates, sees that $14 zone that we were talking about on the daily a little bit more. This is where that big resistance zone is, and we just weren't really able to break above that. Now, I trade a lot of tickers today. Usually I don't like trading 5 tickers. I like, really, my best days are when I trade 1 or 2 tickers, sometimes even just 1. So I was a little all over the place, and I was looking for a move. My mistake on VERU was really just like jumping in on it right here in this breakout, looking for that move to 14. It didn't work out, and then I just sold, cut my losses. It was trading up again, but I kind of felt like this is just a day where I'm not really in the flow. I'm not loving the ticker. This is not like my go-to setup. This is not my go-to price range. This is not my go-to market cap. So like nothing was really adding up, and I felt like, yeah, maybe I can make back some of my losses here, but it's just not really worth it. In terms of like daily and where do I think this ticker is going, I'm a little bit nervous here with this very weak breakout volume. This is not really something you want to be seeing. If you have a big breakout, you want to see higher green volume with that breakout, and that usually means it's a significant breakout. It's gonna hold that area wherever it is. If it's to the downside or the upside, you want to see that volume behind it. So right now we're not seeing that. That makes me a little bit nervous, but we'll see how the day ends. So that's my thoughts going forward on VERU. Now going with IINN here, boom. We have kind of a similar situation in a way where there's a lot of big resistance here at around $2.50, $3 that we're just not having the strength to break through. Also probably a lot of bag holders on this ticker, and you can see the 180-day SMA coming into this area as well. The one thing that is a little bit nicer here is the fact that this ticker has a little bit higher relative volume coming in on this breakout day, so that's good, and it's actually holding the highs pretty okay, IINN. The question is, how high is it going to continue going from here? It's really got to break through some of these bigger resistance zones. So it's not a blue sky setup either, where there's no major resistance above, there's no back holders, and everyone's green on the ticker more or less. That's what we like to see. Anyway, this is a healthcare equipment and service company, 10 million shares outstanding, and then a market cap of 23 million. Plus, it's between $2 and $7. So this thing ticks off or checks off a lot more boxes, and it has a catalyst. The company announced it's developing a non-invasive blood sensor designated to alert real-time change in patients' critical condition. That sounds really good as well. So everything lines up there very nicely. Going to the 5-minute, you can kind of see here, this was an interesting ticker pre-market. It really popped up quick and it was over 100% at one point. So I really like to see that action. The problem was on this ticker, it really popped up quick and then just grinded. And I got chopped out a lot. I didn't have one good trade on this ticker, and it was just very frustrating. I mean, I'm only up 180 bucks on that. Usually a base hit isn't even $180 for me. I'm trying to trade, on average $10,000, and a base hit would be like a 2.5% trade. So I'm bare, look at all the trades I did on this ticker, and I'm only up 180. So I had some small winners, some small losers, and it was just a lot of chop. So if I was paying commissions on TOS today, probably would have even been a red day. Who knows? So that's why I'm not super stoked about how I traded today. But overall, the tickers, I'm not loving either today. So really quickly, I'll review these trades. Again, down here is the daily chart, and here's the 5-minute chart. I'll zoom in there, and then here's the 1-minute chart. This ticker popped up pretty quick, but I didn't really feel interested in trading this one until we were pulling back here, and we're actually holding our highs and bouncing around here in this area. I didn't really get aggressive with my size, unfortunately, and I was always really quickly down 5% on this ticker, so I was really uncomfortable trading it, and it just felt like there was so many sellers on it. Every time it popped up, it just got slammed back down, and then randomly it would spike back up. I just had a really, really hard time edging into this ticker like I usually would. A typical pullback right here, I would edge into really hard, and then we'd get that nice pop and continuation to the front side. This ticker was just really, really struggling. There was maybe a really good move on this 5-minute breakout and this 1-minute pullback. I should have, edged into a little bit more. I actually did okay here. I think I made the bulk of my profits. Did give back here though a little bit, which is annoying. And then this is when I was answering the door. I came back. I quickly jumped in this ticker with some, smaller size, and then I was like, what's going on? I sold and popped up, and I was just like, So this was just really, really frustrating. I didn't really do good on this ticker, and I don't know if I would have done better if I never had to answer the door, but the point is I was never in the flow on this ticker, and I just felt the sellers on it as well. So on the daily, I would really like this ticker to start holding its highs here, maybe even have a power hour session where it breaks to new highs. Otherwise, we've seen this ticker, pop up and sell off, pop up and sell off, pop up and sell off. Here it actually held its highs for a little bit longer. So I'm not loving this one for a long-term hold either. Again, it's not really part of my strategy to be holding overnight or anything like that. I'm a pure momentum intraday trader. So for me, I'm done trading usually at 10 o'clock, and I'll only be trading these tickers specifically if we see them again tomorrow. It's that simple. In terms of these other tickers, I'll just work through them really, really fast. WORX on the backside, a lot of chop action here on the 5-minute. You can see how choppy this one is, and I just try to trade this one looking for continuation that we didn't get. I don't know, pretty rough. Could have easily been red on this ticker. EOSE, this one also really weird. Very, very choppy on the 1-minute, on the 5-minute as well, and on the daily, a lot of sell volume coming in here with a lot of overhead resistance. So not loving these grinding tickers. ENJY as well, slightly up on this one. ENJY. I'm up only 338 on this one, and that's because I gave it back on this flush. And this ticker is also struggling here on the daily, just like a nasty, ugly daily chart. 5 minutes kind of choppy as well. and I actually went ahead and did a first really nice trade on this one, but I didn't get my full size. I only had 3,000 shares. I should be doing like 10, 20,000 shares on a ticker like this. Pops up here, I start buying into the breakout, but again, I just don't get my fills and I don't feel comfortable chasing it too much, and then I take my profits. This was actually a pretty nice trade. Especially based on my position size. The percent was a pretty good winner. And then I actually placed some limit orders right below the 9 EMA, and I was actually going ahead and removing them. And then we had this flash pullback, which I was kind of looking for, but I didn't think it would be so aggressive. I thought it was going to be more like something in this range and then have a continuation from there. We didn't get it. I just closed this one for a small loss, and I was like, man, I don't know. This is no day for me to really be sticking around. I'm just not loving what I'm seeing, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and call it. Here you can see my stats for today. Nothing super extraordinary, but a decent win ratio, and the fact that my largest percent winner is nicer than my largest percent loser is really nice, but my average win, average loss is quite negative today, so that's not very beautiful. I guess really just taking my base hits and having a high win ratio is really the only reason I'm green today, but just not loving it. You can see here I also sized down $5,200 average position size, so I wasn't really trying to get so aggressive today at all. I guess really quickly I could show you my running P&L. You can see every time I was making a little bit of progress today, I got chopped right back down, and that last little bounce today, I was like, oh, I guess I'm just going to call it right here. Actually, I had no idea it was up closer to 400 today, but it doesn't really matter. I don't think I would have stopped. Again, $400 is still below my target. I really want to be making at least 5% based on my average position size, which is about $500 per day. Otherwise, it doesn't really feel like a green day. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Don't forget to drop a like on the way out. Consider subscribing if you're new. We'd love to have you part of the community. And like always, guys, stay safe and make some awesome trades. Ciao, ciao.